Hello world, my name is Jerry Rosa, and I've got to tell you what I'm thinking about our situation in the Ukraine. No, this is not a political commentary. In fact, I think it has absolutely nothing to do with politics. If you think it has something to do with politics, in my opinion, you're underinformed. You're not up on what's going on in Ukraine. It's not political at all when you have a determined, narcissistic psychopath in control of a huge country like Russia. In my opinion, he's the most dangerous person that's ever walked the face of the earth. And I say that knowing well the history of the people that have killed thousands and millions of people. He is potentially far more dangerous than all the rest of them combined. Why is that? 3 reasons. As I said, he's a determined narcissistic psychopath. That's a bad combination. Second, he's in control of one of the largest armed forces ever. Third, and most importantly, he's got his finger on nuclear weapons, biological weapons, and chemical weapons, and we know, because he's proved it, he's not afraid to use them. He's used chemical and biological weapons already. Anybody that opposes him winds up dead. We all know that already. He has cut off all the news in the country of Russia. All the people are completely censored. They only get state news at this point. All the social media has been cut off. The only exception, people are still able to get to some social things if they know how to use a VPN, which means that all the old people in the country have no clue what's going on, other than what is told on the state news. What you may or may not realize is World War III has already started. You can believe what you want, you can sugarcoat it, you can choose to ignore it, but it has started. Now, why has it started? And that is because we have a determined narcissistic psychopath. He is determined. Do you understand what that means? He will not be stopped. He will not stop. There is no way to stop him other than to take him out. Yes, I mean kill him. Yeah, I know that it's not politically correct to say that, but he needs to be taken out. There's no other option. To fight his army is a silly thing to do. I applaud Ukraine for fighting his army. Don't get me wrong. I'd do the same thing if they were here. I'd take up arms and go after them. No question about it. But do you understand what we're talking about on a scale? Let me give you an example of the scale. This is Russia. This is the Ukraine. No, this isn't even good scale. Actually, an eyedropper would have been a better scale. There's no comparison. There's no chance that Ukraine is going to defeat Russia. Yeah, I know that they're putting up a good fight and they're pushing their army back and etc. and so forth, but over time, the Russian army is taking over. They are laying waste to everything. They do not care. Putin doesn't care at all. If the country is completely flat and leveled when he's done, he doesn't care. And that won't make him any difference whatsoever. Do you understand that? He's laid waste to complete cities. Mariupol is completely flattened. The civilians in the aftermath that are left in these places are forced to dig mass graves at this point to get food and water. They're forced to dig them. And we saw this in World War II before also. They may get food and water while they're digging, but at the end, what do you think is going to happen to them? More than likely, they're going to be thrown in the ditch with the rest of them. They're going to be shot, killed, thrown in the ditch. We're still embarrassed 80 years later about World War II because we didn't take action and stop Hitler from killing millions of people. This guy is no different at all. Zero different, except that he's even more insane, if anything. You could argue and say, but if you go after him, that's going to force his hand and he's going to use them. Well, let me explain to you. If you're that naive and you don't think he's going to use them anyway, See, he's only going to put up with any backlash and, the fact that his army is stalling, he's only going to put up with that so long. And then he's going to turn loose the big guns. He's already escalated. A month ago or more, he put his meanest, most determined general in charge. That wasn't a good sign right there. He's escalated the ground wars. He is gradually taking over the country, even though Ukraine is putting up one heck of a fight, and I completely applaud them. They are absolutely courageous people. Please do not hear me say anything wrong about or against Ukraine. They are 100% doing the right thing. It's just terribly sad. And we're all going to be shamed if we don't do something at the beginning. The only time you can stop World War III, the only time you can stop it is at the beginning. We are at the beginning of it, and we can stop it if we take him out. We need to target him. The world needs to come together, and all of the world needs to focus on him specifically. Forget the army. Find him. Take him out. We did that. We went after the terrorists. And that's been another comment. It's been, that I've had is people saying it's just one bully telling another bully. No, it's got nothing to do with that. And if you think that's the case, then you are totally 100% uninformed about anything going on in the world. The United States, while we aren't perfect by any stretch, and I'm ashamed of some of the things we've done, don't get me wrong, when we go after people like that, we don't target hospitals, maternity wards, schools, apartment buildings. We don't target those things. Sure, there has been some collateral damage, and I'm ashamed of that. But we go after the specific terrorists and things. We thought Saddam Hussein was a bad guy, and we went after him and we killed him, and I'm not sad he's gone because he was a bad guy. Not only did he kill a lot of people, but some of the horrors that he actually did to people are just crazy. Same way with Osama bin Gumbi. We killed him, and I'm very glad we killed him. But on a scale of 1 to 10, those guys rate about a 3 compared to Putin, who rates about a 9.9. If you think it was important to go out and take those guys out, then you're missing the boat if you don't think it's important to take Putin out. We are in World War III, whether you want to believe it or not, because he will not stop. And if you think he will, you are completely 100% naive and you don't know anything about psychology. That man is determined and he will not stop. And once he gets Ukraine, do you think he's going to stop then? Not a chance on this earth. He will move into the next country. I don't know what that next country will be. No one can predict that. But he will go to the next country, and he will go to the next country, and he will go to the next country until he completely puts back the USSR. And then, once he's done that, do you think he's going to stop at that point, knowing that he's got all this power and that he, can't be stopped? Heck no. He'll go into the next free country, and I guarantee you that's going to happen, and along the way, millions of people are going to die. The only way to stop World War III is to stop it at the beginning. And like I said, I don't want to hear anything about I'm getting into politics. This has nothing to do with politics. It's got to do with murder. And if you think otherwise, I really feel sorry for you. That's all I got to say.